All right, so Raw is heading over to Netflix tonight. Big deal. Right. Well, yeah, actually, it kind of is a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
We're not just talking about switching channels here. This is like a whole new ball game.
Whole new ball game, yeah.
We're talking $500 million a year.
A year.
That's what Forbes is saying, at least, and they broke this whole thing down.
Yeah.
This is a huge shift, not just for wrestling, but for Netflix, too.
Absolutely. This is big for them. And it might even change how we think about streaming, like in general. I mean, they've dipped their toes in the live sports pool before.
Right.
You know, a couple of NFL games, the Paul Tyson fight, that kind of thing.
Right, right.
But this is a whole different level of commitment. This is marriage material. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you're drawing a line in the sand. Like Netflix is saying, hey, we're not just about that binge-watching life anymore. We're about being the place to be for live stuff, too.
Right.
What do you think is behind this, like, strategically?
Well, I think they're seeing how things are changing, you know? Streaming is getting more and more competitive.
For sure.
To stay on top, they got to offer something the others don't, and live sports.
Yep.
Well, they just have that built-in, gotta-see-it-now energy.
Yeah.
That you just can't get from, you know, your regular shows and movies.
Yeah, and Raw is perfect for that.
Yeah.
It's got a massive fan base. It's already a weekly event, and there's always that feeling that anything could happen.
Exactly.
But how do you think this move will affect Raw itself?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they'll change the format, the storylines, maybe even get a little more intense, let's say, to appeal to a wider audience?
Hard to say for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some tweaks here and there.
Yeah.
Netflix is known for giving its creators a lot of freedom, but they also have their own brand to think about. Yeah. They'll want to make sure Raw fits in with, you know, their overall vibe.
Right.
But they are banking on those Raw fans to boost their subscriber numbers, so they won't want to alienate them either.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's a tough balance.
Sure.
And speaking of balancing acts, tonight is not just NY episode of Raw. This is the grand opening of the Intuit Dome in LA. It's John Cena's official retirement match. And The Rock is making a special appearance.
Whoa.
They are pulling out all the stops.
No kidding. Talk about a statement episode.
Right.
This is them showing the world exactly what Raw on Netflix is going to be about. Big stars, big matches, big surprises. And they're kicking things off with a title fight that has everyone buzzing. Liv Morgan defending her Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley.
This match, it feels like it could be explosive.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Liv Morgan, the ultimate underdog who clawed her way to the top.
Right. Yeah.
And then you've got Rhea Ripley, this powerhouse who just radiates dominance.
Oh, yeah.
For those who haven't been following their rivalry, can you give us a little background on these two?
Well, they've been on a collision course for a while now.
Okay.
They represent two very different styles, both in the ring and out of it.
Right.
Liv's all about speed, agility, and heart, while Rhea relies on her strength, her size, and her willingness to, well, just run people over.
And there's some genuine bad blood there too, right? Some real tension.
Oh, absolutely. There's been trash talk, near falls, moments where it felt like they were this close to just going completely off script.
Wow.
Tonight, with the title on the line, I think we're going to see them go all out.
And it's not just about bragging rights here. This match could define the future of the entire women's division. If Liv wins, it solidifies her reign as champion and maybe signals a shift towards a faster, more acrobatic style. But if Rhea takes the title, it could mean a return to a more power-based, dominant approach.
Yeah.
What do you think? Which direction do you want to see the women's division go in?
That's a tough one. It's a really interesting question. I think the outcome of this match is going to have ripple effects throughout the entire women's roster.
For sure.
But hey, let's not forget about the other matches on this card.
Right.
I mean, there are some serious bangers lined up tonight.
Oh, yeah. This card is absolutely stacked. We've got Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, which is basically a Samoan family reunion gone very, very wrong.
The NOI family, they're wrestling royalty. And when two members of that family go head-to-head, well, it's more than just a match. It's a clash of legacies. Roman Reigns, undisputed champion, the tribal chief, versus Solo Sikoa, the enforcer, the rising star.
And they're not just settling this in a regular match, are they? It's tribal combat, right?
Yeah.
Which, from what I gather, is, basically WWE's version of like a no-holds-barred street fight.
Tribal combat is rooted in the history and traditions of Samoan wrestling. It's a brutal style, unforgiving, Anything goes. We're talking weapons, outside interference, no disqualifications. This isn't just a test of strength. This is a test of mental toughness, family loyalty.
Wow, this is intense. I mean, we all know Roman Reigns can be ruthless.
Oh, yeah.
But how do you think Solo Sikoa will handle this kind of pressure, facing his own family in such a brutal environment?
Huge test for Solo. He's got potential, no doubt. But this is a whole other level. Can he overcome the weight of family expectations? Can he push past the love and respect he has for Roman and tap into that primal aggression that tribal combat demands?
Right.
This match could make or break his career.
And for the longtime WWE fans, is there an added layer to this? Like, is this a potential passing of the torch within the Anoa'i dynasty?
Definitely an element of that at play here. The Anoa'i family has produced some of wrestling's biggest legends.
Yeah.
And there's always that sense of lineage, of carrying on the tradition. This match could very well decide who becomes the next flag bearer for the family in WWE.
Okay, I'm adding this one to my must-watch list for sure.
Yeah.
And then we got another rivalry that's been going on for years. CM Punk versus Seth freaking Rollins.
Oh, yeah.
These two, they have a history, don't they?
Where do we even begin? Their feud is practically a WWE textbook case study in long-term storytelling. Allies, enemies, they've traded championships, they've pushed each other to the absolute limit. It's personal, it's professional, it's complicated.
So what can we expect tonight? Another technical masterpiece, a psychological thriller, all-out brawl fest.
Honestly, it could be all of the above.
Right.
These two are masters of their craft. They know how to work a crowd. They tell a story with their bodies, their facial expressions, even the smallest gestures. This match could steal the show.
It's like a masterclass for aspiring wrestlers, just to watch these two operate. Okay, so we've got family drama, a grudge match for the ages, and then on top of all that, John Cena, the man, the myth, the legend, is having his official retirement match tonight.
John Cena's impact on WWE is immeasurable. He's been the face of the company for over 2 decades. He's a global icon. He's inspired countless people with that never give up attitude of his.
Yeah.
His retirement. It's the end of an era.
And it feels even bigger because it's happening on the same night that The Rock is returning. These two have a history that's practically Shakespearean, right?
Right.
Epic battles, iconic moments, genuine respect mixed with this, like, fierce competition.
They defined a generation of WWE. They pushed each other to be better. They elevated the whole industry. Their matches were always must-see events. The Rock's return on Cena's retirement night, it's almost poetic.
It really makes you wonder, is this just a symbolic thing, like a passing of the torch moment? Or is there more to it? Could we actually see one last showdown between these two titans?
Now, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The Rock hasn't wrestled a full match in years, but the allure of one final confrontation with Cena on a stage like this with the whole world watching, it's hard to resist.
WWE knows how to play the long game.
Oh, yeah.
They love to tease the fans, build anticipation. So even if we don't get a full-blown match tonight, I wouldn't rule out something happening down the line.
Yeah.
Maybe a confrontation, a challenge, a hint of what could be.
It's going to be a night full of surprises and speculation. But before we get too carried away with what The Rock might or might not do, let's talk about how you, the listener, can actually watch all of this go down.
Right, because this isn't on regular cable anymore. We're in the streaming age, baby. So how do you tune into Raw on Netflix?
First things first, you're going to need a Netflix subscription. They got a few different tiers: basic with ads, standard without ads, and premium. No free trials as of right now, but hey, you're getting Raw now, so that's going to be worth something, right?
Yeah, it's like getting a whole extra channel built right into your existing Netflix subscription. Not a bad deal. And when does the action kick off?
The show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And for those of us on the West Coast or in different time zones, don't worry, new episodes will be available on demand right after they air.
Nice. So you can watch it live or catch it later at your convenience. And how long are we talking here?
Looks like about 3.5 hours. So grab your snacks, settle in, and get ready for a long night of entertainment.
3.5 hours. That's like binge watching half a season of a show, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a historic night for WWE, and it sounds like they're packing it full of action, drama, surprises.
It's a statement. WWE is evolving, embracing the streaming era, and they're doing it in a big way.
Okay, I'm officially hyped. But before we go, I want to circle back to something you said earlier about the women's division. You mentioned that the Liv Morgan-Rhea Ripley match could signal a shift in style depending on who wins. Can you break that down a little more?
Sure. Liv Morgan, she represents a newer generation of female wrestlers. They've fought hard to break free from some of the more stereotypical portrayals of women in wrestling's past. She's athletic, technically gifted, and she's got this incredible underdog spirit that really connects with fans.
She's a real role model, too. A lot of younger fans look up to her.
Exactly. And that's what makes this match so interesting, because Rhea Ripley, while also incredibly talented, represents a different kind of energy. She's powerful, she's intimidating, and she's not afraid to embrace a more aggressive, dominant style.
Yeah, she's almost like a throwback to the old school hardcore women wrestlers.
Yeah.
But with a modern twist.
That's a great way to put it. And that clash of styles, that battle between two very different representations of what it means to be a woman in WWE, well, that's what makes this match so compelling. It's about more than just a championship belt. It's about the future direction of the entire women's division.
So are we going to see a shift towards a more athletic, technical style like Liv Morgan represents? Or will we see a return to that more aggressive, dominant approach embodied by Rhea Ripley?
It's the question on everyone's mind. And the answer, well, it might just lie in the outcome of tonight's match.
I think that's the perfect place to leave it for now. Man, we've covered a lot tonight.
We have.
From Raw's big move to Netflix to the potential shakeups in the women's division.
Right.
But the big theme here, the thing that keeps coming up, is change.
Yeah.
Like, we're watching a massive shift in the whole wrestling landscape.
Right.
And tonight feels like the start of something big.
I think it's a bunch of things coming together at once, you know?
Yeah.
The rise of streaming, audiences wanting something different.
Yeah.
And WWE being willing to, adapt, push boundaries.
Right.
Tonight's episode is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
You've got big stars like John Cena saying goodbye, up-and-comers like Solo Sikoa stepping into the spotlight, and then you've got icons like The Rock coming back to, remind us of how we got here.
It really is like this bridge between the past and the future.
Yep.
All happening on one night. And maybe you're listening to this and you're thinking, okay, but what does it all mean? What's the takeaway?
The takeaway is this. WWE, it's not just some niche thing anymore.
Right.
It's going mainstream, it's going global, and it's doing it on its own terms.
Yeah.
This move to Netflix is a huge e-statement.
Right.
And it's going to have ripple effects throughout the whole industry.
Like WWE is saying, hey, world, we're here to stay, and we're not afraid to shake things up a bit. And for the fans, both the old school ones and the newbies, this is an exciting time to be watching. We're on the edge of a new era. And the possibilities, they're endless.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, so to wrap things up, let me throw this back to you, the listener.
Okay.
Do you think this move to Netflix will be a success? Will it take WWE to even greater heights? Or will it, water down the brand, alienate the core audience?
It's hard to say for sure. I mean, there are risks and rewards on both sides, but you know what? Right. One thing's for certain.
What's that?
We are going to be talking about this for a long time.
Oh, absolutely. And we'll be right here breaking it all down for you. So be sure to check back in with us on date of next episode for our deep dive into all the fallout from tonight's historic Raw debut on Netflix.
Can't wait.
We'll be analyzing the matches, dissecting the surprises, and discussing what it all means for the future of WWE.
It's going to be good.
Until then, keep your eyes peeled, your ears open. The wrestling world is changing, and things are about to get very, very interesting.